What are IGT's strongest markets in Latin America?
So strongest markets continue to be Argentina, Mexico, Colombia, Peru, Panama, Chile. Pretty much all the key markets are the ones that we tend to focus on. Where we see the greatest level of opportunity, if we didn't have the restrictions here, would still be Argentina. We still see a huge demand for the product. We built ourselves a bit of a backlog, so even though the restrictions are there on importation, every time we do get games and machines approved, we are able to fulfill those orders. Places like Chile, have challenges around some of the regulatory requirements and some of the new things that they're introducing. So, that's a space that we're continuing to watch and look at the investment that we're required to put in there. Mexico, there's a big change potentially coming up in January with some regulatory changes there. We've seen a fair amount of operations there that have been suspended or closed down for a short while, and we still see that in the foreseeable future. Places like Panama, Peru, we're seeing new openings, a number of new openings in places like Star Bay. Sun International opened up a new operation in Panama there as well. So, it's all the key markets continue to be a key focus for us. But, if there was one that I would really call out, it's continuing to, invest in Argentina. It is tend to be our biggest market. You only have to look around the show at the moment to sort of see, the key players who continue to invest in the market. There's a lot of our traditional manufacturers who, seem to have bailed on the show, which is unfortunate and disappointing, especially at this moment in time where, manufacturers need to show their commitment to the region and to the operators, and IGT's in it for the long run.
What are your top performing products in the region?
Yeah, the top performing products still tend to be what we refer to as multi-level progressives, and things like Fort Knox, Party Time, those particular types of games. Some of the newer introduced games, we introduced a fair number of what we refer to as gambler style games at G2E. Those are some of the games we're now starting to bring down to the market here. The good thing about some of those games is that it's really about three things. It's about what we refer to as VIP, so it's volatility, innovation, and presentation. So, bringing volatility type games, which are really for the types of individuals and the demographic that we see in Latin America. Innovation, you'll see what we've done with some of these games is really take away what people would see more as an entertainment type style bonus. So in bonus features, you had to go through, pick and mix, pick up loads of different items, loads of different features that an entertainment player would find interesting. But core gamblers, they just want to know very easily, very quickly, what are the things that they need to go after, and then try and go for that when they hit a bonus feature. And the other thing around presentation is that we've stripped down a lot of the screens and a lot of the white space information that we used to put around the actual game itself. So what you really see now are just the reels, what you're betting, your credit meter, those sort of things, and that's it. Because that's all people are really worried about is how do I get to the game, how do I get to the bonus feature, and do it as quickly as they can and make it something that they can very easily understand. I think sometimes trying to take an entertainment game and try and make it a gambler game makes it really difficult for people to understand exactly what you're chasing.
Which products has IGT brought to Sagse 2014?
Yeah, so we've taken a very different approach at Sagse compared to any previous year. You'll see from the stand that we've taken a very quality versus quantity type approach where it's all about the quality of the discussion and the quality of the meeting. So we've introduced a lot more, I think 5 or 6 different areas which are really allow for proper meetings and discussions, and only taken our machine count down to 4 machines. And the reason for that is really we have a showroom within Argentina in our Buenos Aires office. All of our game content and all of our customers tend to be fairly local. so they can go and see all of those games, content, and everything that they want to see at the showroom rather than having to bring it in here at the show, which really provides for a more quality discussion with the operators.
How is Double Down Casino performing in Latin America?
Yeah, so Double Down continues to go from growth to growth. We just recently announced our yearly results, and there we got $238 million came out of Double Down. That's 28% growth year over year. The revenue per active user is gone up to about 43 cents, which is a considerable increase from where it was previously. A lot of those users still tend to be the English-speaking countries, North America, UK, and other parts of the globe. But we do now have a Spanish offering. So, the great thing about Double Down is it's available in multiple regions, countries, where it's allowed from a regulation perspective.
What are the current areas of focus of the international organisation's product development?
Yeah, so the main focus of development is really, we'd be stupid to do anything else but look where the growth markets are. Latin America is still a growth market for us. It may be a single-digit growth market, but it's still a growth market when you compare to other places, like North America or even continental Europe. So really what we're doing is bringing down those gambler-style games, looking at the demographic of the individual, and really making sure that we have the right content in those markets. Perfect example has been Quaver Cartoon was one of the games that we announced, I think almost a year ago. Interestingly enough, it's one of our top performing games in Germany. So, this content that we provide isn't only specific to any specific market. It allows us to be able to take those different style of games and make them available across all the different regions. Another key focus market for us is Macau. When you look at Macau being one of the largest gaming jurisdictions on the globe, 5 times Vegas, 3 times Nevada, the growth potential with the number of new operations coming up there, that's also a key market focus for us. And the great thing is, again, it's leveraging that same content that's been successful in other regions with a similar demographic and being able to take it and apply it in other jurisdictions. So that's really what we're working on, is finding the right game for the right demographic in the right jurisdiction.
Which new product should Latin American players be most excited about?
So, probably the biggest and probably the for this market could be our stepper product. So we came out with a new cabinet. It's called the S3000. There are over 90,000 of the previous version, which are the S2000, in the market today. So it was probably regarded as one of the best pieces of innovation, new technology, the light show around it. As soon as a jackpot hits, having every single machine go off at exactly the same time with some sort of jackpot celebration really allows you to be able to attract individuals on the floor to the content. The great thing about it as well is that it's the same game that was successful under the S2000 is now available on the S3000. We haven't played with the math, we haven't played with any of the logic. It's just taking the same content that was previously working and just giving it, like an upgrade, right? So you've now got a boosted version of those games that were so successful. And that's probably one of the most exciting new offerings that we're going to bring down to the Latin American region.